2025 was the most violent year in the history of Ecuador, with over 9,000 deaths, according to the Ministry of the Interior. The country's security crisis, fueled by organized crime and clashes between criminal groups, has become the new normal. Since 2021, Ecuador has seen frequent episodes of prison massacres, attacks with explosives, targeted killings, and other clashes amongst criminal groups. This has become routine in 2023 and 2024. In response, the government made the decision to declare the existence of an internal armed conflict, declaring 22 criminal groups as terrorist organizations, and then deploying the military into the streets, prisons, and communities exposed to organized crime.
He dado disposiciones claras y precisas a los mandos militares y policiales para que intervengan en el control de las cárceles. Acabo de firmar el decreto de estado de excepción para que las Fuerzas Armadas tengan todo el respaldo político y legal en su accionar.
But how did Ecuador descend so fast and so deep into this level of criminality and violence? To understand how Ecuador reached this point, we need to go back almost a decade. With the signing of the 2016 peace agreement in Colombia, the demobilization of the FARC, the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, opened a vacuum in strategic locations between the borders of Colombia and Ecuador. The FARC had historically managed the drug route amongst these countries. And with that opening, Ecuadorian groups were able to insert themselves in the new supply chain for the export of cocaine worldwide. With the country's strategic location between Peru and Colombia, the two major coca leaf producers in the world, its porous borders, and its very weak institutions, made it an ideal place and location for criminal groups to expand and extend their operations. Ports like the one in Guayaquil have become key export hubs for drugs destined for Europe and for the United States. The Pacific region in particular is home to more than half of the population and concentrates the most amount of homicides registered in the country. There are more than 30 criminal groups currently operating in Ecuador between local gangs and criminal groups that have a link with drug trafficking. This criminal fragmentation has also intensified violence in the country. Violence is now part of the everyday life of many people in marginalized and vulnerable communities. In these communities, residents face extortions, kidnappings for ransom, and targeted killings as part of a way for criminal groups to have a grip and social control. Young people and women are particularly vulnerable to criminal groups. As a result, internal displacement has risen sharply. There are many reasons why it is so difficult to combat organized crime in Ecuador. Criminal groups have managed to infiltrate in different parts of the state, from police to the justice system to even local governments, through a combination of corruption, coercion, and threats. But this does not stop there. Criminal groups in Ecuador are not working alone. They have established alliances with major international criminal outlets such as Mexican groups, Colombian groups, and Balkan mafias. Los Lobos and Los Choneros in particular work alongside Mexican criminal groups such as the Jalisco New Generation Cartel and the Sinaloa Cartel. As a result of this, criminal groups in Ecuador drive a turf wars looking to establish control over river accesses and port accesses and other major trafficking routes important for the drug supply chain. As a response, the government has relied heavily on the military and also recurrent states of exception that restrict rights, and deploying military and troops along with police forces into violence-torn communities. While this approach had a brief success in the past year, violence has soared again in 2025. Hardline policies are not new, and they have a big popularity amongst the population. But in Ecuador, the response or the approach has to be different. Iron fist is not enough. The country should also protect communities that are under criminal control, reform the prison system, and implement more effective policies that tackle corruption and collusion within ports and other parts of the state. Otherwise, the country risks remaining in the spiral of violence, and many Ecuadorians in a constant state of fear.